So we go from the riverside through to the old kind of medieval areas of the city where the buildings are much smaller and irregular, through to the larger kind of boulevards and all the way up to the Bourse de Commerce at the end. An architectural model, a maquette of a dynamic video game space, and to explore what possibilities that might offer us. As architects, we're trained to see buildings in a particular way, but a game like Assassin's Creed Unity lets us break that and see the city in a new light. What we did was to sample different areas of the city, and we kind of decided to compress this together. It's a model that's through time and space, I suppose, and what we wanted to express through that is that the player is going to experience many different areas that have different architectural characteristics, and this is going to shape the way that they move through the city, but there's also a kind of consistency to the way that the player disrupts the architecture of the city.
The different colour codes represent different forms of movement. So we have from running to jumping to climbing, and really just expressing the different kind of choreography that Arno takes across the rooftops, and what relationship it has with the buildings themselves, and being able to kind of navigate through them in this way. So the process we took to actually construct this model was first and foremost playing the game ourselves, mapping out a route that we would take through the game, through these different districts. We then stitched together this gameplay footage that we took ourselves. A lot of it involved kind of standing in different parts of the city, taking screenshots, going up close to the buildings, and then really transcribing that detail into a digital model. When we were researching the game, we found it really interesting to read some of the interviews and some of the material from the developers as to how they approach the design of the architecture, from things like copyright of certain elements to the different ways that procedural techniques were used to generate this kind of differentiation within the typology. So learning about that and hearing that, you know, you're facing kind of interesting sort of real virtual problems, you know, we also face as architects sometimes, was a really interesting insight.